Welcome back to another episode of Market Snapshot. Today is the 30th of July 2024. I'm Valon with Titan FX, and here are the key stories you need to know about this week. The S&P 500 experienced slight gains as investors prepared for a week of significant economic and corporate events. Earnings reports from giants like Microsoft, Apple, Meta, and Amazon have captured attention, with many eager to see if the sector can sustain its momentum. Tesla stock surged after Morgan Stanley added to their top pick list, while McDonald's shares rose due to success of its $5 meal deal. Despite these gains, there is a caution in the markets. Investors are focused on the Federal Reserve upcoming meeting, hoping for hints of a potential rate cut in September. The release of the July non-farm payrolls report was also crucial insights into the labor market as investors remain in a wait-and-see mode. Monday's market session closed with minimal changes. While the Nasdaq and S&P 500 saw slight gains, the Dow Jones recorded a minor decline. The energy sector faced declines due to falling oil prices, but Tesla rally boosted the consumer discretionary sector. In the cryptocurrency market, stocks like Coinbase and Riot platforms fluctuated alongside Bitcoin rise to 7-week high. As the Federal Reserve policy decisions approach, the market is focused on how these factors will impact future economic trends. Despite some signs of weakness, such as recent home sales, economic growth remains strong, suggesting the Fed's monetary policy is balancing inflation reduction without causing a recession.
Up on the screen, I've got the Titan's economic calendar, which can be found inside their client cabinet. Starting the week on the July 30th, we've got the GDP figures out of the Eurozone. The forecast on year is at 0.7%. Previously, it was at 0.4%. In other news, on 31st, we've got the retail sales out of Japan. The forecast is at 2.2%, and previously it was at 3%. More news on that day, we've got the retail sales out of Australia, as well as the inflation rate. Then the BOJ interest rate decisions. The rate is to remain flat. Inflation rate out of the Eurozone later on that day. Then the ADP employment change in the US. And the most important one, as I mentioned earlier, we've got the Fed's interest rate decision. There's going to be a Fed press conference. Unemployment rate out of the Eurozone. We also have the non-farm payrolls on the August 2nd and unemployment rates in the US, retail sales, and RBA interest rate decision in Australia as well. So quite a bit of news around the world, especially around Australia, US, and Europe. So let's definitely keep an eye on that. And with the news mentioned up on the screen, I've got the US dollar index on the 4-hour chart, and as you can see, that's been trending down since start of July. In the last couple of weeks, I see signs of bottom on the US dollar index, and specifically the inverted head and shoulders seems to be outplayed with the break above the neckline. And as long as this holds, there is upside room in the short-term basis. A lower 105 would be for me on this pattern, and that's where my projection is coming.